Oh, we're live. There we are. I was doing a little dance, getting things ready here. We've got some MLB 11 games on DraftKings, 11 on Yahoo, though their main slate actually started at 4 because the secret site, and 10 games on FanDuel. They're excluding game 2 of the Atlanta at Miami at Atlanta doubleheader here. Matt, this is almost a Bellman, very front-loaded slate here. Not too many late games, and most of those are starting before 10 o'clock, 2 in the 9 o'clock hour. How have you been? I'm glad you were off the commissioner's suspension list. You joined Emmanuel Clase and I forget the other Guardians pitcher, but we got you cleared. You were out last weekend, but you're back. You're back.
Well, I was here Saturday, but not Sunday. So,
well, I wasn't here Saturday. So.
Yeah, so they're still working on the internet outside my house. I don't know what's going on in the area. It's been very shoddy for the past 3 weeks. They've been outside doing a lot of stuff. There's actually a guy outside right now. It's been mostly good. Just so happened that last Sunday morning it was out for a few hours. So tis what it is. I missed you, as you know. Happy to be back here talking some MLB with you. Fun slate to go over.
Yeah, we got a solo me show on Sunday, so exactly what everybody was expecting. But tomorrow we're going to be on. I haven't seen we're either going to go at noon or at 12:30, depending on which sites are including that 1 o'clock game. But it should be a fun one tomorrow as well, 4 o'clock games. So we have a lot of things going on here as we get ready for the NFL. Preseason is in full swing. If you guys are playing over on DraftKings for NFL Best Ball, they're doing flash promotions, as well as every couple of days they put something on their promotion page. If you check out 3 o'clock Tuesdays and Thursdays on this very channel, you can get Chris Spags walking you through live drafts. He has been doing this for, I think this is his 5th or 6th season streaming drafts now. So he is a very knowledgeable person, and you can check him out on the Stokastic YouTube channel. All right, let's talk pitching here because we have a couple people making their return or just their second start. That would be Blake Snell coming in. This will be his 4th start of the season. Shoulder fatigue, I think it was shoulder fatigue, knocked him out, but he this will be a second start in the last few days. And then Michael King, also another guy with shoulder fatigue. He is coming back for his first start in quite some time. I believe 61 or 64 pitches in the minor leagues. I think he got 10 outs, allowed 6 runs. All 6 of his base runners scored. I think he had 5 strikeouts. That's good, but he had a couple home runs and a double. Yes, that was in Texas against AAA Albuquerque, but I'm not feeling the love for Mike King. What do you like here at the top? Because we've got quite a bit to go through here.
Yeah, I mean, outside of DeGrom, there isn't much to love, to be perfectly honest. So,
this is going to be a fun show because I'm going a different direction.
Well, that's fine and dandy, but he's clearly the top option no matter what direction you're going in. Doesn't mean you have to play him because you don't have to play anyone, but he is the top SP for sure overall tonight. He's miles ahead of every other pitcher as far as talent goes tonight. The matchup stinks, but there's question marks all over with every pitcher, towing the rubber. So, again, really tough matchup. He's expensive. I don't think he's a must-play, but as far as the spend-up options, I think he's the clear head and shoulders top dog. I'll hear arguments on, I guess, Luzardo. That's it, really. As far as the top pitcher goes, Erod points per dollar, sure, but is there another expensive pitcher you like more than DeGrom? Because I'm with you on Michael King. He doesn't seem like a great option here.
Yes, so not sliding DeGrom here. Phenomenal season for him. He is age 37 here. He's allowed multiple home runs in 3 of his last 4 games. So little concern there. Good park. Roof's closed in Texas. Tough matchup going against Philadelphia. That is my largest concern, but I think he's absolutely one of our top 4 pitchers today. I just am not overly excited. I did not play him in my main lineup on FanDuel, and I did not play him in any of my 6 main lineups my main lineup on Yahoo or any of my 6 on FanDuel. So my stance is Luzardo. I'm not going to be alone here. This is, if you look around the industry, he's kind of the other guy that's getting a fair amount of conversation about it. The only players you really have to worry about that have had any sustained success for Texas against lefties has been Wyatt Langford and Corey Seager. Everybody else has mostly been a 0. Now, Luzardo has had those blow-up issues where he was tipping some pitches. Since then, he's more or less corrected it. He's had a couple of 4, I think he had a 4, a 5, and a 6 earned inning or earned run outings since then, but he's just racking up the strikeouts. So for me in that head-to-head matchup, truly the head-to-head matchup, I'm leaning on Luzardo. But my favorite pitcher is actually Cleveland Guardians' Joey Cantillo. He is my top guy for today. Now, that's a fantasy point per dollar play, but I did put him in 2 of my 6 on FanDuel, and he is in my Yahoo lineup. How do you feel
like him over Erod?
Yes.
I like him. I don't have a strong take as far as pitcher goes tonight. I think a lot of these guys look pretty similar. I'm with you. I think you can make the case that Luzardo is the top pitcher tonight. I don't think so, but he's $1,500 cheaper than DeGrom in a better matchup than DeGrom. He's dominant against lefties and good against righties. So you got a ton of righties in this lineup. The only lefty actually is Corey Seager. Now, not great righties up and down. I get that. But Luzardo really thrives on the Ks when he's facing a lineup with at least a few lefties. You don't have that here. So I think I'm lower on Luzardo than the field. Not even an ownership thing because he'll be owned, but not crazy highly owned, 3rd highest owned pitcher on the slate. But I also don't love that. I never love playing Luzardo at ownership because he puts guys on base, and whenever you do that, you're putting yourself at risk for a blow-up start. But I get it here. The options are thin. So I'm picking holes in Luzardo. You could do the same thing about every other pitcher on this slate. So just because he's not my favorite doesn't mean that I don't understand why he's yours, I guess is the best way to put it. As far as Cantillo goes, I like him too. I don't know if I like him more than Erod. I view them as pretty similar. Our tools like Erod more, basically the same price. So that might sway me, but just looking at it on paper, I never like playing Erod at ownership either. So that's another reason why I might lie to Cantillo. Is the ownership a reason why you're leaning Cantillo over Erod or nothing to do with that?
So Cantillo was really my guy for the 2 pitcher sites, but I ended up playing him on FanDuel as well. So the answer is I like him a little bit better than Erod for current form right now. He, granted, he doesn't have a huge track record, but he had what I'm going from memory here, but I think it was a 27% strikeout rate last year. I think he's up that to 29% this year. But I want to say he's made around 20 or 2 dozen starts. So, this you can't really bestow upon him those lofty numbers, but he does project pretty well by the season-long metrics, Cantillo that is, 4 strikeouts, and he's outperformed that. So there's a decent chance he slides back to a strikeout per inning, etc. But we like picking on the Chicago White Sox. So that is the perfect confluence of events. If he was against, a top 20 or better team, I'd probably slide back to Erod. Erod, I actually like the Colorado Rockies as a stack for leverage against him. I did write Colorado up as and I rarely use this, but they are a sneaky stack today, which is funny because I saw 2 other people write them up as a sneaky stack. They're not going to be overly popular. They're a great leverage play at this point, but I'm a little nervous with Rodriguez. Let me get to my notes here. Because he, in his last the 5 starts, 25 2/3 innings, he has allowed 18 runs, 6.7 ERA, 6.2 FIP, 4.8 xFIP. So defense has betrayed him a little bit there. 23 strikeouts in those 25.2 innings, so that's pretty solid there. But 10 walks in those 25 innings, 7 home runs, 5 other extra base hits, all doubles. Those aren't great numbers for currently. So that's where I'm picking against him. That said, he was on I think one of my 6 lineups, if not 2. Snell ended up being my odd man out. I thought he was going to be the guy I was going to build around. That did not happen on FanDuel. So we'll see what happens when I build up my other 144 lineups. But for me, I suspect I will have a decent representation of Rodriguez, but I did make it a point to build 2 Colorado stacks of my 6 lineups because I don't feel he is in good form right now. But it is the Rockies, and here we are bestowing them with good things on the road. Come on, we've shit on them for what, 90% of their games this year. So suddenly I like them. That doesn't feel great.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a classic case of the Rockies. I'm with you on not loving Erod in general. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't feel good about playing him into ownership. But it's the Rockies, and he projects really well. So if you're playing if you're using the Sims and stuff like that, he's going to come out looking like one of the best pitchers on the slate, and I get it. I'm also worried about his ownership, but man, like there's so few times I could say this about Erod, but at this price in this matchup, like you could need him here. I hate saying that, but it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Would it shock you? 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 earned runs? No. Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
So this is why this is kind of fun. I just dropped the link there into chat. Sorry for being late today. So I put there's a FanDuel contest. It's posted in their lobby, but it's single entry, just $1, 100-man. If you guys win that with a Stokastic avatar, tweet at me and I will get you 1 month of Stokastic single Sims package. You can get it for baseball. You can get it for football. Your choice, but as a little gift, an opportunity for you, just $1. Contest needs to fill the run. It needs about 50 more people in there, but we have close to 400 people watching us here. So you guys should be able to fill that, but that's an easy way to get into the Stokastic product. Other easy ways to get into the Stokastic products? Well, there are quite a few. If you are into sports wagering, and I think a lot of you are, you can get 7 days of Stokastic Portfolio EV free by clicking the link in the YouTube description below us here. If you have not yet signed up for Portfolio EV, that is our top-down sports wagering model, pitting the books against each other to find the best opportunities, ranking them. And this works even in states like Florida, where I only have access to one sportsbook plus the social sites. I know when not to make bets because it's just not a smart move. And you'll see that a lot when you have limited books. So for me, betting home runs in Florida, foolish. I'm usually plus 50 to plus 100 lower than the best books. And that's just not a good use of my funds. So this is a good way to help you understand both when to bet and when to maybe keep that powder dry. That is Portfolio EV. Okay, so we talked, we hit on DeGrom. We agree he's probably the most talented pitcher, even at age 37 on this slate. Luzardo is the up-and-comer. Rodriguez has the cherry matchup going against Colorado. Similarly, Joey Cantillo has a great matchup against the White Sox. What about Blake Snell? He is making his 4th start of the season here. The knock, it's not even a knock against him. He's going against a Toronto team that is striking out about 17.4% of the time against lefties this season. That is by far the lowest in the league. The next closest is like 18.2 and 18.7%. So that makes it really tough to get excited about the Snellevator, but we've seen him do it time and time again in these tricky situations. If we look at the lineup here, it's going to be 2 lefties that have the most strikeouts available. It's Addison Barger and Dalton Varsho that are both well into the 30% rate. And then Davis Schneider, who is leading off, he's really good in righty-lefty matchups, which is why they've put him in there in the leadoff spot. But he does strike out 27% of the time. So he really needs to get each of these guys. He needs these 3 guys to get him 5 strikeouts. if we want to see him make it to pay off his salary, that's going to be a tough ask. What do you think about Snell at his price? I'm assuming an 85 pitch workload seems reasonable.
Just because of the slate and how there aren't good options, I think he's in play. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't feel like he's a great play because of the matchup and because of the workload concerns with him, just coming back. But he's more talented than an $8,700 pitcher, and you can't say that about a lot of guys on this slate. So things working against him, some things working for him. All in all, I think he's just a play on this slate. Would probably take me 10 plus lineups to get to him.
Okay. And that I think is fair. If his strikeout props this morning, we're sitting right around 5.5 at basically plus 100. So even money. So that's not great for someone that we're used to doing this. And then when I said 85 pitches, I think that's his floor today, unless he really gets roughed up. He had 86 pitches again in Tampa on Saturday. He has had a full week in between, so 90 to 95 I think is within the realm of outcomes here. But remember, Dodgers have tried to patchwork together their pitching staff, so they're not going to push these guys too much. Is my thought there. So 100 pitches out of the question, but we could see 95 if it's relatively efficient there. All right, let's see. We hit Kane, Castillo, Burke. Anybody else here for pitching? There's a lot of paths, I think, to success tonight.
I agree. At least a lot of things that look good on paper. That's
on paper, sure. Yes. Before first pitch.
Yeah, totally. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
All right, let's see here. Let's look at our stacks. We've got plenty of time here, about 45 minutes until the game's a lock. I have built out all but my 150, so hopefully nothing too crazy for me tonight. Let's go over here. Oh, we just got an update. So keep in mind that the Miami and Atlanta game is included on DraftKings and Yahoo. It is not on FanDuel. We can see on the top stacks here, Arizona, even after trading Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor, they still look, and Randall Grichuk, they're still looking pretty decent against Bradley Blaylock here. I am assuming that Arizona is your top stack. Is that correct?
I think they're right up there. I don't think they're like far and away the top stack. I think that they look like they're a really good stack tonight. Yeah, I like Arizona here. Blaylock isn't good. The Rockies bullpen is even worse. So Diamondbacks look great here. I do think you're going to have to bite the ownership pill here with them. And, I think there's other really good stacks that aren't going to be as highly owned. So, yeah, all in all, if ownership weren't a thing, I think they're the top stack. I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's the odd thing is the nobody is in double digits. They're the closest. We'll call it 10% for Arizona. But on DraftKings, it's pretty flat. If we jump over here, make sure I'm sharing the screen.
Well, that's what we're projecting. That doesn't mean it's going to come out that way, which
Correct.
Obviously I know and that's all we can talk about is what we're projecting.
Right, and we can see them at 13% on FanDuel. So I will say it's the Sims really are pushing Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll. Sorry, in most everything, along with Gunnar Henderson. Those seem to be the three players that it did not want to let me be without, even at the expense of Shohei Ohtani when I was using the single lineup simulator.
Yeah, it likes Corbin Carroll over Ohtani here, for sure. He projects for slightly more, and he's 100 cheaper.
Yeah, so when using the single lineup sim, you need to remember it's just building you one lineup. It's using all the rest of the tools and everything, but it's not putting in randomness, a lot of outcomes. So if you're building a bunch of lineups with that, you need to block or take out the player. By blocking, I mean just put in, if you don't want Gunnar Henderson, put in Francisco Lindor. I know on FanDuel he's $100 cheaper. You can use Tovar for Colorado, etc. Just close those spots out and then push complete lineup, because otherwise it's going to keep trying to give you those guys there. So why is it trying to give those to us? Well, Bradley Blaylock actually drafted out of high school in the 32nd round. There's no 32nd round anymore in the MLB draft. That was in 2019 by Boston. Steven Leibowitz probably doesn't even know who this guy is. He was then traded to Milwaukee at the 2023 deadline. And then last year he was traded to Colorado at the deadline. He is barely cracks their top 25 for prospects in the Colorado organization. And we know that that not only is their big league roster looking thin, so somehow so is their minor league system. So he is going to be someone that is better suited. Most teams would use him as a multi-inning reliever. The Rockies do not have that luxury this year, so they're going to keep running him out. There's always a chance someone can hang on as a fourth or fifth starter, and that's more valuable to organizations than a multi-inning reliever, which are pretty easy to get. So expect to keep seeing him every 5 or 6 days. But I was sad that Jake McCarthy was not in the lineup. I shed a little tear. So I have to go to Alec Thomas as the discount dandy for the Diamondbacks. Do you like any Diamondbacks righties?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can play all of them just because, like, especially if you're stacking them. I mean, we talk about this a lot, but yeah, I mean, the righties look great here too. Blaylock is an equal opportunity scrub, so he gives it up to everyone. Yeah, you'd rather have lefties against them, but lefties will be higher owned. If I'm stacking them, I want 1 through 9, and I certainly want guys bottom of the order in Arizona because that's where you're going to get the ownership advantage. Because right now, how we're projecting them as the highest owned stack, a lot of that is coming from Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, the top of the lineup. So Del Castillo, the catcher. So you get to some of the guys that most people don't want to play at the bottom. They're in the same exact spot as the top guys. So, yeah, I think that's a definite route tonight.
All right. Jump in that lineup. We got about 50 people in that contest. I'm sharing the details there on the screen. But as a gift for being a little bit late, check out FanDuel there. The single entry, $1. Must fill to run because FanDuel does not run they're not guaranteed, but we should be able to fill it. We've got almost 500 people watching now. So check that out. If you win with the Stokastic avatar, tweet at me and I will get you 1 month of Stokastic single sports sims. Okay. So Arizona popular. Who is your next favorite stack? Because things flatten out dramatically.
Yeah, they do. I don't think Arizona is that much better of a stack than the next teams. I think they're among the flatness. They're just at the top of it. So I think the Athletics look good. The Cubs look good. Both those teams are expensive, and the Mets look good. All 3 of those teams are really expensive. I'll throw the Royals in there. Also expensive now, which is weird to see from Kansas City. They've got some cheap guys at the bottom, but Miguel Garcia leading off at 4,800, Witt 6,200, Pasquantino's fine at 43, Perez at 43 or whatever. That's a steep top 4. So I like the Royals. On one hand, I like them less because they're more expensive. On the other hand, I like them more because they won't be his own. So, that's DFS for you. And then I think the team that stands out as far as value goes is Cleveland. We saw them last night. White Sox, like the Rockies, Burke is no good. Their bullpen is bad. I like this lineup Cleveland's throwing out there tonight. CJ Kayfus finally got called up after mashing the entire year in the minors. He's 2,100, big night last night. I like Cleveland a lot here. So I think after Arizona, those 5 teams stand out to me as kind of, you mentioned, a clump together.
So I do like Cleveland. I ended up stacking them as one of my 6 on FanDuel there. So that made me happy. I also did one of the Athletics. They are going against Brandon Young. Brandon Young, even more rare than Bradley Blaylock. Young was an undrafted free agent. We do not see that very often.
That's so rare in MLB.
Yeah, it really is. And so he was signed in 2020. So he had a couple years in college in the Sun Belt Conference. I want to say it was Louisiana Lafayette when I looked it up this morning. He pitched two years there. So no minor league season in 2020. He worked his way up through the minors. He's kind of the Crash Davis of pitching, if you will. And he's actually not bad. He's more of an innings eater, but he relies on control with this fastball. He also has some walk issues, or I'm guessing it's just batters are not. They're making him put it over the plate instead of nibbling at the corners. And he has been allowing a ton of power. Now, granted, it's only across about 200 plate appearances, but 180 ISO to righties, and then opposite-handed pitchers or hitters have a 264 ISO, which is pretty hefty there. So I like Baltimore. I like the A's going against who were they going against? I'm blanking. Jack Perkins, another guy who's kind of just out there to get some experience at this point. Yes, Baltimore Camden Yards let us down last night. We did not get fireworks there. How are you feeling about the Camden Yards matchup today?
Yeah, I like the athletic side more than I like the Baltimore side. But I think they're both in play as good stacks. Athletics, you talked about this Young. He's not any good. I mean, I think Perkins is higher up. So I think Perkins is actually in play at 5,600. The tools kind of like him a lot. So kind of throwing a wrench in there. Again, I like both those stacks. I don't think that they stand out as like top stacks on the board, but they're in that mix. So, I can dig it.
All right, let's keep working through this. The pedigreed lineup, of course, is the Dodgers going against Chris Bassett. How are you feeling about the Dodgers tonight?
I like the Dodgers here. They look like a really good stack. Bassett much better at home. Not as good against. It's kind of the same story as last night from Scherzer. You want the lefties against him. I like the lefty Dodgers here. Mookie Betts also looking like he's starting to get going, and don't mind jumping on that train either. So, the Dodgers look good here for sure.
All right. Of course, we want to go to Ohtani, Freeman, Max Muncy. Those will be the key guys. I think you can live with 3 or 4 Dodgers. I don't think you need to go with the full 5-man stack here, but you know who we want to target. It's essentially the top 5 in the order. You could look to Andy Pajes as a bit of a differentiator. Not that anybody's carrying a lot of popularity today, but Teoscar Hernandez in a remember me spot, right? That's worth like 1.5 DraftKings points from the jump. As we continue to look at our other options here, Milwaukee going against Frankie Montas. I believe there's going to be an opener in that game. You've got the Cubs in St. Louis going against Andre Palente. You have St. Louis in turn going against who is it? Is it Colin Ray tonight? Yes, Colin Ray tonight. What do you think of our Midwest tier here with the St. Louis, Milwaukee, and the Cubs?
I like the Cubs here. They're expensive, so it's hard to get there. But if you can, I think they look like a good stack. Milwaukee, not as good of Milwaukee might be even a better stack just because they're cheaper. So I think all those teams look like they're good stacks here. I mean, St. Louis is the worst offense, but they're probably in the best matchup against Colin Ray. Brendan Donovan scratched. That's not ideal, but I mean, you're not stacking them because of Brendan Donovan. So that's kind of the thing with this slate. I mean, but makes sense that as a result of there not being that many great pitching options, there are a lot of desirable hitting options. And I think that's the case here. There's only a few pitchers that I like and that I think are viable here. And on most slates, even those guys, I wouldn't be wanting to play. So, in turn, the offenses look good on this slate, no doubt about it.
All right. I see one we did not hit on. The Mets going against Tobias Myers. I believe he was called up there to make the start for Milwaukee. Their other, who was it? Mizowski ended up on the injured list, and then Logan Henderson, not to be confused with Logan Evans. He also landed on the injured list. So Milwaukee just losing starting pitchers. DeWitt DFS says he'd like to see a sim run. Any other stacks you want to talk about while I launch some sims here?
Probably my favorite stack on the board, Miami. Eric Fetty, awful. Miami kind of got shut down a little bit today in the first game of the doubleheader. They had some hard hit balls. I don't know if you saw the catch by Jurickson Profar robbing Agustin Ramirez of a home run. One of the top catches of the year. I like teams that get to go right back at it against a certified scrub, and Eric Fetty. I mean, the guys the Braves are throwing out there these days are just not good pitchers. And they throw another one out there today, and Fetty, maybe the worst of the bunch. Miami's swinging a hot bat right now. I like the Marlins a lot here.
They were going to be a team. Last night I was looking to write that game up until I saw that FanDuel was not including it. So I ended up featuring some other teams. But I agree. I think that is an interesting spot. I'm going to run some DraftKings lineups here on the screen so you guys can check that out. I want to say Amy. Shout out to Amy S. She hit for, was it $1,400, Amy, in the pick'ems on DraftKings? Not on the day of one of my shows. I'm assuming that was a day. Bichette had a few home runs. I think that must have been the day she did that. But yeah, she tweeted at me. So nice job there on tiers. So let's see what happens here with our stack. How many lineups? $1,300 for Amy. That's pretty good. She got like third or fourth in the $5. So it was a big takedown there with just one lineup. So nice job. How many lineups are you going with tonight, good sir?
I'm playing 3 lineups.
3 lineups. All right. How many lineups are likely to have Rodriguez? Eduardo.
0, but that's undecided.
Okay.
I like how you phrased that. Likely to have 0, but
things could change. We still got 30 minutes, right?
And I don't have a strong feel on SP2, and the tools are really pushing him. So at the end of the day, I might play him in 1 because of that.
So if we look here for so let me make sure this is sharing the pop out. Yep. So this was 150 lineups run essentially unfettered here. You can see that DeGrom coming out well above the expected ownership, almost more than double. Rodriguez well more than double. Luzardo a little bit under. Boyle. Ooh, we didn't talk about Boyle. Essentially, he's a price play at 5,900, along with Fetty, and then who was the other guy? Perkins. That's DraftKings only. I wouldn't even mess around with those guys on Yahoo. DraftKings only, but the sub $6,000 players are helping you a little bit. I don't think there's super spendy line. I mean, you could play the Corbin Carroll, Shohei Ohtani lineup if you're going with one of those guys, no problem. But I don't think that's a must. And we can see we're just getting a smattering of those guys. If we look at our hitters, Corbin Carroll, no surprise there. Gunnar Henderson, Shohei Ohtani, Jose Ramirez, right? Some of the most complete hitters in the game. Power, speed combination, upside. Of course, we're going to see those guys. Luis Robert Jr., that's not too bad. He's been. I love how he got hurt before the trade deadline. Now he's back again, stealing bases. Rough 2-year stretch for him, but he has been performing relatively well. So if you want a little leverage, not that you need it against Castillo, he is an interesting option there. Who is a must play for you as far as must plays go? Who's going to be on 2 of your 3 lineups? Anybody? Any hitters?
Sure. Yeah, Miami. At least someone from Miami. Probably Edwards leading off. got a price decrease. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He wasn't good in the first game of the doubleheader, but I mean, the only thing he doesn't do is hit home runs, but that's okay. I think he gets 5 at bats plus here. He runs a lot. This matchup is ideal. Edwards, one of my favorite plays on the slate at 4,300. Really, really good look today, leading off there.
All right. Other cheapies here on DraftKings. Adrian Del Castillo, he's batting 5th. Does have the platoon advantage. Hasn't really done much in the big leagues, but he is a very accomplished hitter. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. A few other Arizona guys popping up there. Royce Lewis down to 3,200. That's what happens when you don't hit home runs every other game. Luke Keeschel is back in the mix. So things flatten out pretty quick on this slate tonight. Kyle Manzardo. There's my home run call. We're going to jump to that early. Kyle Manzardo, home run today. Let's see what stacks we ended up with, and then I will run this for FanDuel. Let me see. So 25% Arizona, 20% Milwaukee. We've got 19 or so percent Chicago White Sox. That's a little bit interesting there. I'm assuming it's a bit of a salary savings. How do you feel about the White Sox coming up that popular, Matt?
I don't love it, but I'm not shocked because they're cheap. And like their lineup right now sets up pretty good against left-handed pitching. You talked about Luis Robert on fire, Corey Julks sitting there now. Like, I don't love Cantillo here. I think that's actually, I'll rephrase that. I think it's a kind of boom or bust spot for Cantillo, much more than normal.
I think that's fair. We've got so let's look at the lineup here. You got Edgar Carroll, so he's their catching. He and Kyle Teel are their catching prospects, but Carroll's the switch hitter, so he'll hold the platoon advantage. Luis Robert, doing all right. Curtis Mead, cast off. He is batting in the cleanup slot. He has had a rough.
That's season. Like a good deal for them, though. Like he was once a highly heralded prospect.
Yes.
They traded Adrian Hauser for him. Like he's always been pretty good against lefties too. So like he's not great, and his numbers this year aren't good. But like I think that's a savvy pickup for a team like that.
Has Corey Julks always been with the White Sox?
No, he was with the Astros for a while, and the no, not the Nationals, just the Astros.
Just the Astros. Yep. I was like, I know we've seen him in the past. He has played in 3 games, 6 total at bats this season. So, yeah, I would agree that so here's the interesting thing, and I believe I put this in the article. White Sox actually kind of try. I mean, when you have such low expectations, it seems like they have a little bit better team spirit than say a team like the Nationals, who have just not the body language for the Nationals hasn't looked good for a couple of weeks here. So we'll call the White Sox frisky. They came out of the All-Star break on a tear. I think they've lost like 7 of their last 10 or something like that. So the bloom is off the rose, but always food for thought because baseball is gonna baseball. All right, let me kick off a FanDuel look here. We got about 20 minutes before a lock. In honor of Amy, we will talk about the tiers real quick, and then we will give one last overview. We'll answer questions if you guys have them. So just real quick, I'm changing the settings here a little bit. This is the usual approximate breakdown of what the field is going to be like in tournaments. I'm not going to change what I'm doing with the players, but I want a little bit different mix for my stacks or that I'm going to be choosing from in the portfolio. So I will just take that and hit submit. Could not find Jacob deGrom. So let's hit refresh. Sometimes when you're changing between the sites, it glitches, but that is easily fixed by refreshing or putting this in a new browser. So let me get that kicked off. Riveting, I know, but these are the questions that we get when people are running into a lot.
I got a pitcher we haven't talked about either that I like. I mean, this is a guy I mention every show, so I feel like I'm surprised. Well, I'm surprised you haven't guessed him yet. Literally every show we're on, I feel like he's on the slate, and I mention him as a cheap option that's not getting any ownership, whose numbers look better than his actual numbers are.
Lucas, no, not Giolito. I don't know.
Sandy Alcantara.
Oh.
Look at this Braves lineup, man.
Broken.
This Braves lineup stinks. Yeah, it's Sandy.
Drake Baldwin, baby. That's all I got to say about that. All right, sell me on Alcantara. Aside from a weak Atlanta lineup that is without Austin Riley, is without Ronald Acuna Jr., that has Marcell Ozuna, who forgot how to hit against righties, batting cleanup today. Who is Luke Williams? I don't even know who that is. It's a creative player. Nick Allen, yikes. Right,
I mean,
just saying the name sold me.
Yeah, right. Like I can't even remember off the top of my head who's not in this lineup. But we know no Acuna, no Riley, no Sean Murphy tonight. I can't. Again, I'm looking at it. I'm struggling to come up with the names, but this lineup is extra weak. Look at the bottom three. I mean, yeah, Sandy in play for me. It's all it is. Weak pitching slate, good matchup. It's all it is.
All right. So in honor of Amy's big win, the tiers plays tonight. Tier 1, a lot of great options. It's going to be Nick Kurtz or Carroll or Ketel Marte. Now, the issue with Carroll and Ketel Marte is you're not going to get to play both of them. So I would probably lean Kurtz in tier 1. Tier 2, Ohtani looks good. Cal Raleigh looks solid. Jose Ramirez. I'd probably lean Ramirez in this one, even though Ohtani is the better player. You will get more leverage with Ramirez. If we look at tier 3, probably Kyle Tucker. Just take Kyle Tucker at the top going against Palente. He can be susceptible for power. We're not seeing a lot of synergy here tonight. Pete Crow Armstrong does match with Tucker there in tier 4. If you are not going with Pete Crow Armstrong, I would highly, highly recommend Brent Rooker there. He's at the very bottom of the list because they sort these by average fantasy points per game, and that is not where he belongs. Tier 5, I think I would go Langoliers and start to do the athletics stack there. Tier 6, you could do the Chicago stack with Suzuki. So let's look at this. We can go Suzuki. We can go Langoliers. We can go Armstrong. We can go Tucker. We can go Kurtz in tier 1. And that leaves us with Jose Ramirez in tier 2. So I've got 3 Cubs, 2 Athletics, and then arguably the most well-rounded hitter, base stealer, base runner, switch hitter. That's what gives him the edge on Corbin Carroll. And just all-around defensive maven. That is Jose Ramirez. How fun is it having him on your team?
Oh, it's amazing. He's so good, and he took a major discount to stay in Cleveland, which you just never see these days. So, yeah, a lot of love for Jose. One of the best. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Cleveland athletes in my lifetime.
Brian Sipe, were you born when Brian Sipe was a quarterback?
I think I was I was born in the early 80s, so I think that's when he played. But
that's right about when he was there. Yeah, right about
Bernie, much more famous than Brian Sipe. Another example, he was a local kid who wanted to play for the Browns. So a lot of love around here for him.
I was not aware of that. Were you aware that over 40 quarterbacks have started for?
Yeah, but now we got Shador, so things are looking up.
Oh, that's right. What are your quick thoughts on that? Like how just creating chaos is him having a decent game in a bunch of situations that they wanted to see him in. Not a great game, an adequate game, but just creates more of a mess there in Cleveland. What is the factory of sadness going to churn out?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of hype around Shador. It's just it's so bizarre. Like, he fell all the way. we'll see what happens with it. I don't have a strong take on Shedeur. It's like all you get around here with the sports talk. So I think it's kind of played out. He's handled the situation, I think, very gracefully. So nothing but compliments to him personally.
All right. So I am capping a bunch of my pitchers here. I'm going to I don't want that much DeGrom. Yeah, I'm going to go 30% DeGrom. I'm going to go 30% Rodriguez. I do not want Michael King, so we will go with 2. Luzardo, I'm okay going with 30, but I'm going to have to give him a boost, it looks like. Quintillo not showing up. Well, we're going to give him a boost, but we're going to put him at 20 and see what shakes out there. Feels like I'm missing another good pitcher. That would probably be Snell. Snell all the way down here, but not even in my player pool. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. So I hit those changes, unfavorite, refavorite, and then we'll answer some questions after this. I'm going to have to give some boosts here to get I want a little bit more Luzardo. I do not want Sean Burke. I want a little bit more Castillo. And then let's give a couple to the Snell elevator to see if we can get him in some of our lineups. See what happens there. Quick favorite. Oh, it's going to rain here, and I have the window or the hurricane shutters open. To go rectify that in just a second here. All right, that looks much better. Doubling up what Quintillo is. A little bit of Michael King. Got 1 or 2 lineups there with Snell. I'm okay with that. Let's see what we have for our hitters. We have a ton of Corbin Carroll, ton of Gunnar Henderson. That's a lot of Gunnar Henderson. We're going to cap him at 30. It's a lot of Marte. We're going to cap him. We're going to cap all these guys at 30. And that will do it. Where'd we end up on stacks? A lot of Baltimore. I do want to get a little Colorado. So we're going to go over to the boosts here. Give Colorado a couple clicks, and then I'm going to load my lineups, and we will get the last 10 minutes of the show. How are your lineups coming along? You're on mute.
I was on mute, so sorry about that, and they're coming along pretty well. Thank you for asking.
All right. Let me get because I'm selfish, I'm going to put mine in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Let's put that in and chat. And get your questions ready. Make sure I didn't screw that up because that would just be a shame after crafting these lineups all evening to not get what I wanted. Let's upload these. I see if there's still room in that FanDuel contest where I'm giving away a free month if you win that. Just got to beat 99 other people. Single entry, just got to beat 99 other people for $1 with a Stokastic avatar, and you will get 1 month of single sports sims. What could be easier than that? Well, friends, there are other ways to get the single sports sims for free. If you utilize our link join promotion, sign up with any, is that working? Sign up with any of these operators if you have not yet. Click the link through our landing page, which Nightbot has been putting in there. I will drop that in there as well. And you will get not only their deposit option or opportunities, you will also get the Stokastic single sport sims for 1 month. Sport of your choice. Football's right around the corner here. Follow these 4 easy steps. Click on these buttons here. But the new one that I'm sure hardly anybody has signed up with is Wanna Parlay. That's a new pick'em site, up to a $100, 100% deposit match on $250. You got to click the claim offer button here. But look at all of these operators that you can get their deposit bonus as well as Stokastic single sport sims. That will be the last ad for now. All right, let's go see if we have some questions. 99 problems, but that isn't one. Talking about recycling here. Gabriel or Kenny Pickett, so much Sanders. All right, where are we? Home run calls. Well, let's do home run calls then, Matt. Who is your dong of the day?
So I mentioned that Agustin Ramirez got absolutely robbed by Profar in game 1. He's going yard in game 2 to make up for it.
A little in doubleheader. Remember me,
something like that. Yeah.
All right. I said Kyle Manzardo, so I will stick with Manzardo here. Let's go. Oh, what does the top hitters tool say? Where is the top hitters tool link? This is sometimes fun to look at. Top batters tool, batter with a B. We have shocker of shockers, Ohtani up there, Langoliers, Juan Soto, Cal Raleigh, Corbin Carroll, Kyle Manzardo. Look, the EMAC internalized model has hit on the Manzardo here. I like that. Let's see here. Cash game pitchers. I would go with, on DraftKings, I would probably go Luzardo. And personally, I would still go Cantillo. Who would you go for your SP 1 and 2 DraftKings cash?
Man, not Luzardo and Cantillo. I think in cash you got to go DeGrom and Erod. But I know you play cash differently, so like I get it. I just think that those guys are going to be even higher on in cash, and there's cheap bats, but there are also expensive bats. So like I get it. For me personally, if I were playing a cash lineup, I'd probably play DeGrom and Erod.
I think that is the correct answer, and it's really those 4 pitchers I think are the ones that you want to look at. So that is the way to go. I just closed out my screen. Let's get that back here. But yes, cash games, I do things a little bit differently. But you want to go for the more popular guys. But if we go look at the ownership here, those are the top 2. But you can see that Luzardo is not that crazy. Cantillo probably is crazy. You're probably better off going with Eduardo Rodriguez. So I will overrule myself, but I would probably go Cantillo. What else do we have? Oh, we got some home run calls here. Let's see. What do we got? Jason McKinney says Stowers. Walton Horton says T. Freeman. Oh, this is different. The names all have an at in front of them. That's kind of new. C. Self-Made DFS, Josh Young. Mohammed's going with Guerrero. Obi-Wan is going with LOL. Don't know. Father Time with Duran. Armin Nelson is going with Carroll. I am going to close one of our sliders here. Just push a button. That's the thing about Florida is you got to move quick when you got your deck furniture out there and it's lightning and thunder. I have to sign up for an app that tells me when lightning is near me because it happens so frequently. I did not see that already. In the Discord says, are there any weather spots to avoid? No, I am not aware of. Oops, make sure I turn that off because I don't want to burn the motor out. Let's go double check. Everybody's favorite weatherman. I do not believe there was any precipitation issues. There is not. Wind blowing out a little bit in Chicago for Cleveland and Chicago. Hot and humid in St. Louis. I kind of talked about that when we covered the Cubbies and the Cardinals going against Colin Ray for the Cubs and Andre Palente for St. Louis. Those are the only ones that we need to consider. The rest, no precipitation and no really hot weather at the particular locations that are hosting games today. Let me get back into Discord, see if we have anything else. Oh, thank you, Jason, for answering that question as well. All righty. Have you crafted the lineups? You're hitting go.
We are done. So
Alrighty.
Next thing is just waiting for lock.
Did anybody make it onto 2 of the 3 lineups?
Yeah.
Was it a Marlin batter?
Yeah.
I'm sad, folks. You didn't fill this FanDuel contest. Only 58 of you have joined. Sad. I tried, man.
That's all you can do.
Let me make sure that my lineups did in fact get uploaded. Oh, big lightning strike.
How do you feel about like rainstorms?
Like in general?
Yeah, are you a fan? I kind of like them.
No, I don't like the rain. Living 17 years in Seattle cured me of wanting to be anywhere where it's raining. So I don't mind the rain here in Florida because the default position is sun. And when it rains, the joke, when it rains, it pours. It literally does. I'm totally fine with that. And it rains pretty hard for 20, 30 minutes. And then 20, 30 minutes after that, it doesn't look like it rained. So that part I do like. The part in Seattle I didn't like is the whole winter where it's miserably cold, light breeze, low 50s temperature, and mist. The joke in Seattle is it only rained twice this week. 4 days the first time, 3 days the second. So
I like that.
I may have made that one up, but it is true. It is true. I'm sure someone has said that before me. But no, I'm not a fan of rain. It annoys me. Blame it on the rain. Very true. Very true. Rob and Fab.
It's at Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when that was back in the day, you were probably still, you probably sent in the get 13 CDs for a
$1. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that clear? Something house, clearing house or something like that.
On it. Columbia House.
Columbia House. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember going to the CD store at the mall, but even before that, like going to like the music store and getting tapes with my family.
Goody's got it.
Long ago.
What was the first CD you ever bought?
It's a great question. 2 of them. And there's actually 3 of them, and they're all like so different. Green Day.
Okay.
Boys to Men.
Okay.
And Too Short.
All right. My first 2 were Led Zeppelin and Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Led Zeppelin 4. My first cassette tapes, I bought 2 that day. One was Chicago 17. The other was Eddie Murphy Raw.
Love that.
Or was it Comedian? Whichever one was the first one. I forget now. I was like 12.
That's good.
Today was a good day. Ice Cube, first tape for Big Kev. DeWitt says, In the Club and Hybrid Theory. Bad? Delirious. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Delirious. Oh, so maybe did he have 3? It was such a long time ago, but yeah, it was whatever his first one was. It was something else. It was a different time. Mighty Quinn got Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry, be happy.
Love that.
Bill says Devo. Okay. Big Kev took a Walkman to the bus stop. Nice. Stephen Jones says Stevie Wonder. Yep. Psycho says used to do the mail order and choose albums from the Columbia House brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Living in a fraternity, there were a lot of fake names used for those.
That's funny.
Those $1 deals. Outcast for Josh Gillingham. Tag team for Mike Campbell. Oh, I love that. The tag team Geico ice cream commercial. The throwback. Chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Scoop, there it is.
Yes. Good. That's good.
Sotex has an original vinyl copy of Weird Al's first album. Nice. I actually had several of his on tape, first 3 or 4. My brother and I liked that. And that was one we could listen with my parents in the car. They thought that was good. Otherwise, my mom would overrule us and listen to her radio station.
I can't blame her.
It's fair. It's fair. Did not have 8 tracks. My grandparents' car had an 8-track.
Nice.
Kenny Rogers, the Coward of the County. It must have been The Gambler. They had a couple of his 8 tracks, but I remember The Gambler.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're basically at lock here. Thank you for the trip down memory lane. I'm going to have taco salad for dinner. I have been smelling it for the last hour, so it is going to be tasty. What are you doing for dinner tonight, Matt?
I think Chipotle. Nice. I'm not positive, though. My wife was handling that while I was on the show, so I'm sure I will come out of this with 55,000 unread texts. So wish me luck.
Asking you what you wanted. Yes, we had kava last night. I haven't had that in a long time. It was pretty good.
Nice.
So, all right. Oh, Too Short. All right. Life is too short. That was a good.
One of my all-time faves right there.
That is good. With that, gamers, you guys can follow Matt on Twitter at Fantasy Tips Matt. You can find me at EMACDFS. And, of course, it is Stokastic_COM. Tune in tomorrow for Sunday's MLB Live Before Lock. Good luck, gamers.